Hey guys, it's me Emmye and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys how I got a 98% on my TEAS 7 exam and how you guys can receive the same score as well. If you guys haven't been keeping up with my TikTok, you totally should. It's at Emmye Camille, little self promo. But on there, I gave all the tips I'm going to share in this video. I took you guys along with me in taking this test 3 times. Overall, you guys just went through this little journey with me, so go check out those videos if you're interested. So yes, you guys heard it here. I took the test 3 times. The first attempt I got an 86.7, the second attempt I got an 84.7, and the last attempt I got a 98.0. So if you want to get 12% higher or just try to succeed like I did the first times, keep on watching. Many of you guys may know that I am a pre-nursing student here at Cal State Long Beach, and many nursing programs require you to take this TEAS exam. It is an online test that you go to in person to take with a proctor, or you can take it at home, but you have to show that nothing's around you and that you're fully alone. I took 3 of them all in person. It's very similar to the SAT because there are 4 sections. You first have your reading section, the next one is math, you get a little break, then you have science and English language and usage. I'm going to show you guys everything that I used to prep and how long I did study for. First off, let me give background into my nursing journey. So I am pre-nursing. I completed my prereqs last year in my first year in college. This whole second year is just a little gap year. I'm just taking GE courses to continue to apply to nursing programs. I did get rejected from Long Beach the first time around. I applied this fall for the spring and I did get rejected off their wait list, unfortunately. So now during this new application round, I applied yesterday, November 30th, for all the CSUs that required TEAS and those that did not require it, just so I can branch out and keep my options open. So this upcoming spring semester is going to be a chill semester once more because I'm still applying to nursing school. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any comments down below, and it's going to be a long journey, but we're going to get through this together and I'm going to take you guys with me, so stay tuned for that. But let's move on to how I actually prepped and studied for this exam. My first year of college ended May of 2024, and then I completed a community college spring course that I took that following June. So while completing that course, I also studied for the TEAS. I'm gonna put the book up that I used first on the screen. I used the Mometrics book and I really did enjoy this book. It splits it up in the 4 sections. That book sets you up to study for 4 weeks. Ideally, it's meant for 6 weeks. I did the 6-week process, which gave me more time to just focus and dive deeper on the material. So at first, when starting the study, I didn't know where to start exactly, so I first split up my weeks. So since I came back home and I had 2 weeks left of May and then the full month of June, because I took my test on June 25th or 24th, I believe, I split my studying into weeks. So the first week I did all the reading in the Mometrics book. I read all the tips, highlighted, took some notes on a notebook that really helped me as well, just the key details on each section, and then each section ended with a video link. So I would click the link, type in the code, and then watch that video and take notes again as well. So the first full week I spent probably 3 to 6 hours every day just studying and reviewing the reading section. After every week, I told myself that Saturday I was going to take a practice test, so it allowed me to take 6 full practice tests before my first attempt for the TEAS. It kind of gave me an idea on how I should pace myself. I time myself while doing it. Also with Mometrics, the first 2 tests are in the back, and then also with the answers in the back. The rest of the 4 are online, and then also they give you the correct answers as well, which I really liked. So that was the first full week, and then the next week was math. The last week of May, I spent my time on the math section. I really enjoy math, so I found it very easy, and I knew I didn't really need to study it that much, but I wanted to familiarize and also reintroduce myself to old formulas that I had forgotten, because obviously the math that you are being tested on is math that you learned in middle school. I believe the math section, if I remember correctly, went a little faster, so I still spent the whole week on it, but I just chopped down the hours because I didn't really need to practice as much. So I think for math each day I probably spent 1 to 2 hours. It wasn't too bad because once again it was really easy for me. So I did the same thing as reading, where I did all the practice questions and I wrote down notes, I wrote down formulas. So I'll give an example right here. For the TEAS, I started writing reading vocabulary that I didn't know or that I wanted to reiterate to myself. As you can see, I have a couple here, but I obviously didn't finish it because, you know, stuff happens. For math, this was most important for me because I knew that I needed to remember more of the simpler things. I wrote down all the charts that they gave me that I didn't remember or that I knew that I needed to study more. So I did metric equivalence. You don't really need to know that if you just know the little stair step case that I learned in middle school. Distance and area measurement, capacity measurements. You don't really need to know English to metric system. I was scared that they weren't going to give me the conversion, but most of the questions do. I can't remember which one didn't, but there was one where I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know this one. But I just studied it just in case and just, you know, try to memorize it. And then on the other side, I did weight measurement, ounces, pounds, like the English system. And this is what I was talking about, the King Henry. Try to create a little analogy to memorize this metric thing because it will work for you. You can write it down and it's super easy to remember and then to switch the decimal point when you're doing a problem like that. Then I also have temperature conversions on here from Fahrenheit, Celsius, and also Kelvin. And then I have the formulas here that I didn't really remember from all the shapes that you learned in middle school. So I just wrote down all the formulas that I needed to remember. And then I would review this every time I would study, cover it, pretend I'm teaching it to someone else so then I can also remember it. I think that's all I did for math. Now for science, it was a beast. So I spent 2 weeks on it and I split it up to where a couple days were chemistry, and that was super easy for me because I really enjoyed chemistry and there's very little on the teas. I split up a little bit of the couple days into biology as well because once again there's very little of it on the test. It's mainly more physiology and anatomy. In my opinion, I would say it's more physiology based, so I definitely focused on that since I struggled with that class a lot. So I did the same thing. I read through the book, took down notes, and especially when it came to the different body systems, I created a kind of study sheet for each system. So as an example, I have my respiratory system here, and when I was reading through the Mometrics book, I wrote down some notes. I also looked at the videos. I mainly looked at the summary video for the notes because I felt as though the Mometrics really delved super deep into the science stuff that you didn't really need to know on the teas. They're not gonna ask what does the trachea connect, like something like that. Like, they're not gonna ask stuff like that. They just want to know that you have the basic foundation of the body and how it works. Here's the other side of the respiratory system that I took notes on. Right now I'm discussing the book and then I'll go into other sources that I use that help me study as well. But for science, I definitely spend most of my time on it because I obviously struggled with physiology. Here's my cardiovascular system. So I just read through almost everything and then did all the practice questions, looked up practice questions and practice tests again on Google. And then you can see I stopped at digestive because this is where I started realizing, oh my gosh, the Mometrics is giving us a lot of information that we don't need to know, like specifically. Then the following week I spent my time doing the English and language usage. Every single week that I was studying, it was basically the same thing. I just needed to get into the groove and understand how I was going to study and what worked best for me. So each day, once again, I spent a couple hours just reading the book and then doing practice questions and writing down charts to help me memorize the grammar rules. Those are most important because when you're taking the exam, you may think it sounds sense just because, see, I just said like a grammar mistake. Even after this test, like, I realized, oh my gosh, like, we all don't speak English correctly. Even when you're reading the English language usage section questions, it may make sense to you because of how often people mess up the English language on a day-to-day. So you need to remember all the basic grammar rules. Shoot, I couldn't tell you the grammar rules now because it's been like 4 months since I've taken the last one. But you're just trying to pass a test, you know what I mean? And then the last week, I just spent everything reviewing. I did a ton of Quizlet practice problems and just, you know, refamiliarizing myself with everything. That was what I did for my first exam, and I got the 86.7. I was super happy. I remember for my first attempt, I got a 79 ish in the reading. Math, I got 100%. Science, I think I got an 84, and then English, I got an 82. So it was overall a really good score. Like, I was super happy with my first attempt. I was so scared because obviously it's scary. It's a standardized test. Like, it's either you know it or you don't. But I was super happy and content with my score. However, I still needed to get a higher score because Long Beach is super competitive. For the next whole month, because I took it again in July, your test needs to be 30 days apart, by the way, FYI, if you take multiple attempts. I did the same studying habits. I just reviewed everything. However, I did emphasize more on my science and reading grade. With my first attempt, I also used Future RN Prep on TikTok and Instagram. I joined all her lives on TikTok and Instagram. Those really helped me because she did practice questions with everyone and everyone would put their answers in the chat. And then she'd explain why these answers were wrong and why this one was correct. So I used that the first time around as well, and I also purchased her flashcard set on App Store. So the first time around, and I used it the last week, and that was my main source for the science, was her flashcard app, and I think that was $14 or $28. It came in a package set because she had a whole science flashcard app and it was split based off the sections in science. So bio, anatomy and physiology, scientific reasoning, and chemistry. So it was super helpful. I would say I learned most science stuff that also applied to the TEAS in there. Like the Myometrics was a little too much, like I mentioned before. So Future RN Prep really helped. And then I started looking at more YouTube videos. So I watched Smart Edition and I did all like the practice videos that I thought were going to be helpful. I did all of those. It was like science, math, all of those I did. Honestly, my best suggestion is just continue to just do practice tests and practice questions so you know what to expect, how to time yourself and manage your time, and also just know how to approach these types of questions. Another YouTube channel that I watched was Tutor Geek, I believe, and then Nurse Chang was super helpful. I forgot what she is, but I think she's a teacher for pre-nursing students, or like she's some sort of, I don't know, I know she's some sort of teacher and she like knows her stuff. I would take notes from her videos as well. I would just look at like the 30-minute everything you need to know anatomy and physiology for the TEAS, everything you need to know about reading and how to approach. Like, I really recommend her channel. I recommend Future RN Prep, and Smart Edition really helped. My friend also told me that her first attempt she got an A. She also used practice questions from Quizlet. So this time around I was doing that as well. However, it wasn't as often, like I didn't study as often as I did the first time around. Because I was traveling, I went on 2 trips during the month of July, and that was a little bad planning on my end, but that's why I ended up getting an 84.7. I dropped 2% because I believe my reading grade went up, but my math grade went down because I was like, oh, math 100%, I don't need to really study that much. But it did go down, I think 10% or something like that. So math went down to an 88, I believe. My science went up, I think, to an 87, or it might have been like a 93. English language was still at like an 81. So my scores were a little everywhere now. So for my last attempt, I knew that I needed to lock in on everything. So my last attempt I took in August when I came back to move in over here, and I did everything that I still did. I was just more dedicated and devoted more time to it every single day so that it was fresh in my brain. So I looked at the videos, I looked at the notes I did, I looked at Future RN Prep. I did all of her study guides that were in her email thread because I signed up for that as well. When I was at the gym before bed, I would review my notes, I would look at the flashcard app and test my science knowledge. On the treadmill, I'd look at videos from Nurse Chang. Like, I was super devoted during this time because I knew this last month I needed to get a good score to get in, but I still didn't get in, so that really sucked. So my last attempt, it was just grinding season. And then my nursing mentor, because I'm at a nursing club here at Long Beach, she gave me the official ATI TEAS one, so I can decipher between the two and give you guys my unbiased opinion, because obviously I looked at both. I think Myometrics book is really good for everything but the science, because it's so in depth with the material and the explaining. It's just a lot. Like, it freaked me out. I was like, dude, this is the anatomy and physiology I learned in high school, but like, I don't know now. This one I really liked when it came to seeing my TEAS score report, that it broke down the sections where I needed more work in, and I got questions wrong in that category. Since this is obviously made by ATIs and the test is made by ATIs, for the reading, I use this a lot because my nursing mentor also marked up on it. See, I got a lot of questions wrong on 1.2. I would make sure that it was 1.2 on my TEAS score report, and then look in here and review, highlight, write again in my little notebook on facts to remember, and see how I can remember and improve my score. I would say for the English section, this was super helpful because that's what I really struggled with most. With the sections already labeled, I could see what I needed to improve on. But I didn't look at the science in this book because I definitely just wanted to improve my reading and English score, because Long Beach loves to look at your reading score. That's not part of their application anymore. If you follow my TikTok, you would know. I now have to take a Casper test, which, if you guys have any tips, please let me know down below, because I'll probably film another video on, depending on the score that I get, but I'll probably film another video on how to study for that. Yeah, Long Beach doesn't look at your T's anymore, but a few of the schools that I applied to still do. All that I found that was helpful for the science section was Future RN Prep and her flashcards and YouTube videos, because it's a lot of information. If you hear it, you can see it, I feel like. But yeah, I did all the practice tests, and the last month I spent a lot of time just studying and just locked in, phone on do not disturb, barely texting any friends like, hey, I'm busy that day, I'm studying type. And that's why I got a 98, so it was super rewarding. I know a few schools only accept unlimited T's or max 3, so be careful with that. Long Beach was unlimited, I think, so that's why I continue to do the 3. I know San Marcos is up to 3, and I think Cal State LA is unlimited, and then a few other schools don't accept T's anymore, like Long Beach, Fullerton, and then I know some schools accept 2 max. So just be careful when you're applying, just to make sure that you have your stuff written down and you know what's up. For my score breakdown, my reading, I got a 97, I believe. Math, I got a 97 once more. Science, I got 100, which was super rewarding, because I was like, wow, like my hard work paid off, because I got a B in physiology, and everyone was telling me, oh my gosh, Emmye, like, they like A's, so good luck. And I was like, you know what, it's okay, like, I'll still do well on my T's, and boom, I did. And then my English also went up, and I got, I think, a 97 as well. So proud overall, and it was definitely a long journey, but if I can do it, you can totally do it too. I was working in the summer, I still traveled in the summer. Like, it's all about time management and your schedule. And in fact, I want to come out with a video on managing your time, how to like become an academic weapon, because honestly, if you have the right routine, if you have the right system, you can get everything you want done in your day. Like, it's literally 6:30. I'm filming this video right now, and I'm gonna do homework after. Like, it's all about time management. Time management with YouTube is hard, but I am an academic weapon when it comes to like managing work and school and all of that. So I promise I know what I'm talking about. It may not seem like it on YouTube, but I'm fixing it, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and just know that it is literally not the end of the world if you don't get the score that you want. Any nursing program or any healthcare program that you're interested in will take you when it's meant to be, and that's what I'm trying to tell myself right now too, because obviously I got rejected from the school that I'm literally going to. But you guys will be part of my application process once more, just like you were when I was graduating high school. Leave your comments and questions down below. I will try my best to answer every single one of them, because I know it's super helpful. When it's anything academic related, I try my best to continue to engage with you guys, because obviously, like, we all want to succeed, and I want to give you guys my tips and be transparent with you guys, because that's the only way all of us can work towards our goals and succeed. Do everything I did, and you should be a-okay on your T's. Don't forget to cut yourself some slack, because it's a lot. Like, any medical professional, any medical field, the studying is insane, but it's manageable, it's doable. Remember that. If you found your calling, if you found your purpose to serve others, know that it's for the right reason. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and best of luck. You guys are gonna kill it. Comment down below if you're taking your T's soon and when you take them, because that's so exciting, and I'll be praying for all of you guys. I will see you guys in my next video. Love you, babes. Peace.